Today I'm going to talk about SEO. I know this is social media marketing course. What are you doing with SEO? What exactly are we going to learn about SEO? But guys, if you're learning about social media marketing, it is very important also for you to learn about SEO as well, because when you will be working in an agency or whenever you're working for yourself as well, you cannot say that okay, I was not unaware about this topic, right? There are few steps that you have to take from your side to learn about all these things, right? So that is what we'll be delving into. First is search engine optimization, right? So search engine, let's first just understand this term one by one. All right, so search engine, what is a search engine? It's basically a program which helps you find an information, right, which you are looking for online. Now how does it happen? It happens through keywords. So if you write a keyword, if you write a phrase, it's going to help you figure out an information and it's going to find that information for you. All right, then comes optimization. Optimization is basically what? It's a process that you basically follow to make sure that something has been used and used perfectly and effectively, right? That is something that you follow. So SEO is basically all about that particular thing, that you are actually making sure that every piece of content has been optimized fully. If it is not, then you're making improvements onto it. Why you're making improvements onto it? So that your page can be discovered by other people who is viewing your content through search engine, right? If I talk about different needs, right, it's all about user needs, because let's say if you write keywords, anything or something, right, then whatever is most relevant to you, it's gonna come, right? Also, what it focuses towards is more on the user quality, right? And also it focuses on that, is it giving a best experience for my user or not, right? That is what SEO looks after. So SEO is all about making changes into your website so that you can appear on the top of the pages, right? There is few things that comes into picture. For example, there is if there is brand awareness, then there is new customer, then there is more traffic, and that's going to improve your ranking. Or it could just be like a different way altogether as well, that SEO helps you boost your ranking, right? After ranking, you're able to get more traffic into the business, right? As soon as your more traffic arrives, possibly new customers will arrive. As soon as new customer will arrive, they might like your things and they might like your services. Then what is going to happen? Your brand awareness is also going to get increased with that. All right, let's move a little ahead and let's just see that how do search engine generally work, right? So there are few steps to it, that how does search engine generally work. First one is called crawling. So what happens in the process of crawling is that there are lot of data that is available on the internet, right? There are multiple competitors as well, right? Now how does search engine is able to figure out the most relevant piece of information and give you the most piece of information? How do they know that what exactly is there in that particular article? It is through crawling. What they do is that they use bots, which is basically a program which is going to help you crawl the web, and it's going to look for the new pages and the updated pages, right? And what happens with that particular bot is that they're going to see at the keywords, that which is the most repetitive keyword, right? What is the whole content is all about, right? So that is what crawling is. All right, then comes indexing. So indexing is basically going to help you analyze each and every page, and it makes sure that every page information is being known, right? They might store this particular information in Google Index, which has a very huge database of web pages, right? So they try to make the sense out of it. First they crawl your content, and indexing they try to make the sense of the data that you have written, and they try to store that data. All right, then comes serving results. So after you're done with this particular process of crawling and indexing, then comes the process where you're serving the results. Now what do I mean when I say that serving the results? It has crawled your data, it has stored your data in the database. Now you're searching for something, and let's say the keyword matches with their database. Then what is going to happen? The real result is going to pop up, and you're going to get served by that particular data, right? Now again, it depends on the relevance also. So what you're writing should actually match that database, then only will be able to find that information up. All right, let's proceed a little further. So how are these results selected, right? So very simple answer to is that how result getting selected is algorithm, right? It's a very complex system that is there into the places, right, which is used by Google to make sure that the delivered pages and the rank properly by relevance, right? So top results is just purely on the basis of algorithm, all right? But the algorithms has been changing very continuously as well. For example, in the year 2011, Panda came, right? The goal was that they want to derank all the sites which is of low quality, right? Then in the year 2012, Penguin came. His also purpose was that all the manipulative links and profiles and all the spams that are there, it should just go away, right? So what the algorithm was trying, they were trying to derank all these sites, right? Then came the Hummingbird. So Hummingbird focus was majorly towards producing more relevant content and meaning behind the query. So whatever that you have written, they would try to figure out that, okay, if somebody is searching for this, what is the meaning of that and why did they have searched for that, and by they just wanted to give them the more accurate result, right? Then comes the pigeon algorithm. So it basically, what it did was it helped you with a high quality content, right? So very nearby content also it helped you. Before it was like ki, okay, global search used to happen 2011 again. I think the date is wrong here a little. Okay, so I think it's 2014 over here. Yeah, the more relevant information, the more relevant high quality and also local results and everything started like popping up. Okay, then comes mobile friendly. So algorithm changed to mobile friendly, that if your content is mobile friendly also and that also, then I'm going to get leverage to it. Otherwise if it's not, then I'm going to derank your sites, right? Then another 2015, another algorithm came, which is like rank brain, which actually helps you deliver better search results, which take an help of AI and machine learning over here, right? So that is how they're able to deliver their results faster. Okay, these are the algorithms that you have possibly studied of now, right? But there are certain techniques also that you should be keeping into your mind, right? There are three kind of techniques that happen. So there is, first is in white hat technique, second is gray hat, and third is black hat, right? When I say a white hat technique, what do I mean by is that all the data that you're getting or all the optimization that you're doing is fully focused and fully kept in mind, thinking of a human audience that as opposed to a search engine, right? So it follows all the rules and the policies that the search engine has given them, all right? Gray hat SEO, whereas, is a combination of black and white. But first let's discuss the gray one and then let's discuss the gray one, right? So in black, what happens is that it refers to online unethical practices that you following, right? So it could be like, overstuffing of those keywords and everything. Gray hat is basically a combination that few practices you're doing is nice, few practices is wrong, right? So that is what gray hat is. Now if I move a little further, there are different kinds of SEO that is there. First one is on-page SEO, second is off-page, and third one is a technical SEO, right? So on-page SEO is basically an SEO that refers to a page where you optimize all your content up so that your website can improve its ranking, right? So how do you try to do that? You try to do it by providing them with high quality of information so that the pages can be ranked as well, right? You can do that by optimizing the headlines, the HTML tags and everything. Okay, then another comes as an off-page SEO. So in off-page SEO, what happens is that it refers to an activity which you do far away from your website. For example, your ranking does get affected, but it is not something that you do within your website. It's something that other parties that you take a help of, right? And it basically tells Google that what others think of your website as well, right? So that is what off-page activity is, right? If I talk about the checklist of on-page SEO, so in on-page SEO, what happens is that there are few checklists that you particularly have to follow. For example, title tag optimization. Now, what do I say when I say a title tag optimization? Let's say you're writing a title over here, right? Let's say cryptocurrency is a game changer. That is a title, right? Now my keyword is cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency should be there in the title also, right? Same way in meta description also, this is okay, I cannot see meta description here, but meta description is usually whenever you search for something online, let's say you're searching let's say cryptocurrency only, so in blue it will come cryptocurrency, and then in black a small paragraph will come. That is what meta description is. So you have to make sure that your keywords are stuffed properly into meta description as well, all right? Then URL optimization, so whatever your keyword is has to be there on the URL, right? Headings also, if there is heading h1, h2, h3 headings, try to have synonyms of those headings, try to have that main heading itself also on those platforms. Okay, then comes the internal and external ranking. So in external and internal linking, what happens is that external mein what is going to happen, you're going to take, if let's say you're going to tag Amazon, right? Internal mein what is going to happen, you're just going to click, you can just say that if you have any queries, please contact the support, and then you're going to tag the support page. That is an internal linking. All right, then comes the keyword density. So at least 2 to 5% of keyword density needs to be there into your content, right? Not less than that, because of the reason that how does search engine will know this is what your content is all about, right? So you should have a very high dense keyword, right? Then come plagiarism free and grammatically correct. So plagiarism free and grammatically correct, what do I mean by is that don't make silly errors. If it's small error, it's fine, but usually whenever you will be writing, make sure that all these things are in a very proper place, because all these things also affects your ranking. Okay, then come image optimization. So whenever you are inserting any sort of image, then you have to make sure that you're alt tagging those image. Now what do I mean by alt tags that image is basically name those images as well, right? After you have named those images, you have to click on alternative text, right? So you have optimized those image jobs with the size and everything, then you have to just write that what exactly this image depicts, right? After that comes the keyword cannibalism. So keyword cannibalism would have, what happens is that you're competing with your own advertisement over here, right? So how it is working out is that let's say you wrote an article, and you wrote an article, in both of the articles your main keyword was digital marketing. So basically what is happening, you're competing with one another now, right? So that is what keyword cannibalism is all about. All right, we saw on-page SEO. Now let's see the off-page SEO. So there are some checklists that you have to follow for off-page SEO as well. First one being search engine submission. So whatever that you're writing, whatever the text that you have written, you have to submit it, right? So there are different sites that is available where you submit your whatever the written piece of content or your website into those platforms. All right. Hello. नाइन्थ है,
ये जो मिनट्स का किया चेंज,
हाँ.
ठीक है चलेगा. 3 2 1 go.
Let's talk about the off-page SEO checklist. Now in off-page SEO checklist, what happens was, the first one is the search engine submission. In search engine submission, what is happening is that whatever the content that you have written or whatever the website that you have, right, you're submitting those websites onto the search engine now, right? And you also know that Google is not the only search engine. There are different kind of search engine that is available. So you will have to submit your site there so that it can crawl, it can index, and it will be helping the other particular people to get the better results, right? So search engine submission is all about that. Then comes a pre-classified submission, wherein you list your websites, where you list the products also for more reach. Now when I talk about off-page SEO in general, what I want you to understand from off-page SEO is that this particular SEO, if you have heard about Just Dial, if any of you have heard about Just Dial, there is one key thing that you have to notice here is that, let's take an example of a doctor. So whenever you search a doctor, Just Dial appears, and the list of doctors also appear if you're searching for doctors over there. If you search for beautician, that it also happens the same manner. Now the key point over here is that why does that happen, and why exactly does doctors also appear when you're searching for something, and do they have their own website? So yes, first thing is that doctors have their own website, still they also appear on Just Dial. Now did Just Dial people went to this doctor ki, hey, fill in all your details up and everything? No, it might not be the case that they didn't went, right? So what happened, that Just Dial listed, that particular doctor has listed himself on Just Dial. Now even after having his own website and everything, why did he list himself on that particular pages? The sole reason is that they want to take the help of that third party tools, which is going to help them increase their ranking. Now here's the case, Just Dial is far better in terms of domain authority as compared to any average pages that it would be, right? So let's say if they are far better than that, then what you have to make sure over here is that all the possible submissions that has been happening, so let's say if the particular person is available in the Just Dial app. If you're able to see that particular information of that particular person, just in case you like the profile, you might end up visiting their pages as well. So obviously Just Dial has higher amount of traffic as compared to how what an average doctor would be having, and that is the very reason why you list yourself onto those platforms, right? And this third party submissions is basically that improves your ranking, because what happens is that now Just Dial is suggesting that particular doctor. So what that search engine also thinks that okay, the doctor might be really good, that is why they are suggesting them, right? So that is how it really works out. Similarly, image and video submissions, now how do you do that? Slide share, right? Pinterest, that is how you do that. PDF submission, again, slide share, PPT, PowerPoint, all these things that you do over there. Social bookmarking, how do you do that? Yelp and everything that comes into picture over here. Forum postings, you have Reddit for forum, you have Quora for forums, that is what. Guest blogging, you have Medium, wherein what happens in guest blogging is that you go to Medium, you figure out that if anybody is there who would be interested in letting you write a piece of content, right? And as soon as a particular person has written a piece of content, then what is going to happen, it is going to get published in his name, but you will be also getting a link of it, right? And you have written that particular piece of content, right? So that is how guest blogging works, right? Similarly, press release submissions, infographic submissions that you're doing, Q&A submissions on Reddit and Quora, right? All these things are an example of what? Off-page SEO, right? If I move ahead a little further, then there is one more concept which is called backlinks. Now, backlinks are basically incoming links that is coming to your website from one or the other website. Now, this is very important. The maximum backlinks that you have from good sources, the better it is for the website and the growth of the website, because it signals the search engine this website is of really good quality. That is why people are writing the backlinks. Okay, now after off-page SEO, there is one more concept which is of technical SEO. So what is a technical SEO? Wherein you make sure that all the technical factor that is related to the website that is there is at a very proper place. It has been improved regularly so that you can increase your ranking, right? So it basically, technical is something which is into your control as well. So you can consider it as a part of on-page SEO as well. Some people do consider it as a part of an on-page SEO as well, right? So here you are basically take care of the factors so that Google is easily able to crawl and index your website a little better, right? These are the checklist. For example, sitemap.xml, HTML, robot text file, page load time, schema markup, WC3 validation, open graph tag, canonical tag, SLL certificate. I know this term might be really fancy to you. You might not be able to understand those terms and everything, but what you should be focusing toward is that is this particular factors are checking all your boxes or not. So let's say if you have no idea as to what the background is, but there might be somebody working into your agency who have an idea about what these technical jargons are, get help of that people, right, which is going to help you. For example, here if I have to talk that what XML helps you with, so it helps you discover and index your pages more efficiently, right? So that is one thing that you have to make sure it's well optimized there. Then comes the robot.txt files, which basically helps the search engine access and crawl your pages much better, right? Search engines can crawl your pages much better using websites. Then comes your HTML wala part. So HTML has basically, it has all the links of your websites. Like for example, there is a, whenever you go on any company's page, at the very footer itself you might be able to find sitemaps, right? As soon as you click on those sitemaps, it's going to give you all the links of the main pages, right? It is generally for the audiences. So XML is for the crawler and HTML is for the audiences. Alright, let's say if you want to start and execute a SEO process, then how do you go about it? So what you have to make sure is that you maintain a position by data analysis. For example, see that what is the need of it, what is the requirement of it, do the on-page and the off-page SEO, do the competition analysis to see that how your competitors are performing and everything, do the keyword research very properly, see that how the current website performance is working, right, and understand the business really well. Now let's go a little deeper into the topic. If I talk about SEO, one of the major things that always pops up when I talk about SEO is keyword research. Now, what is a keyword research? Keyword research is basically a term and a phrase that a person uses so that whatever the information they are searching for, it is used for that. So if I have to describe keyword research in one word, it's basically a search phrase, right? Now it basically helps you with what? It helps you understand a content a little bit much better. It helps you determine the relevance to the queries as well much better, right? There are different kinds of keyword that is there into the picture. First one is a short tail keyword, second is a long tail keyword. Short tail keywords are very brief in nature, very general in nature. Usually it consists of one or two more words, right? Gulf, online marketing, digital marketing and all those things. Long tail keywords are more longer in nature. For example, digital marketing for beginners, learn it right now, or let's say, social media marketing, enhance your SEO work, something of this sort. Basically large groups of words that is there. That is a long tail keyword, right? Short tail keywords are very global in nature, and long tail keywords are very specific in nature. Okay, then if I move towards another part of it, first is navigational keywords and then comes the informational keywords. So navigational keywords basically talk about when a user is trying to find a very specific keyword. For example, Amazon Facebook page, or Amazon page, a Facebook login page, right? So very specifically you have mentioned about a particular brand and you have mentioned about a particular page that you would like to go to as well, right? So that is a navigational keywords where you're looking for something which is very specific in nature. Informational keyword is that you're not looking for something specific particularly in terms of brands, but you're looking for an information there, right? So that is an informational keyword. Then comes a branded keyword. So branded keyword is like you're using Apple, iPhone, right? Apple, iPhone, you're writing it together. So that is what branded keyword is. Basically you're mentioning the name of the company before you're mentioning the product of that particular company. Okay, then comes the transactional keywords. Transactional keywords are related to purchase, right? So anything related to buy, sell, purchase, that is what a transactional keyword is all about. Let's talk about commercial keywords. So commercial keywords are usually the keywords that has a very specific interest in mind, right? It shows a very specific desire to get something. For example, the example is best iPhones under 20k, best hiking shoes and everything. That could be an example of a commercial keyword. If I talk about the latent semantic indexing keywords, which is LSI keywords, it's basically the keywords that are closely related to one another. For example, if I say digital marketing, right, the LSI for that could be SEO, could be PPC, could be social media marketing as well, right? So incorporating those terms into your content as well also increases the relevance of your content, right? Let's further move ahead into finding LSI keywords. How exactly would you find LSI keywords? So on the SERP, now SERP is basically search engine result page, right? It's the first page that you see as soon as you search for something, right? So if you just scroll down a little bit, you're able to find out all these details. For example, if you searched at how to write a blog, see how to write a blog format, writing blog examples in English, what is blog, all these are what LSI keywords, right? Even you can refer to different tools as well, like keywordstool.io, lsigraph.com, which basically helps you guide better to learn about LSI keywords. If I move ahead a little more further into it, there are few more things that we'll be looking into. First one is a dwell time and second one is a bounce rate, right? So dwell time is basically how many times visitors spend actively onto your content before they went to the search engine. That is a dwell time. Now bounce rate is something that how much percentage of the visitor lands on a single page and leaves without making any sort of engagement further. That is a bounce rate. So dwell time, how much time a person is spending there, and bounce rate is basically how much percentage of the people are leaving without making any interaction. Alright, this is it from my side regarding SEO. I hope you know everything about SEO now. I think this is a basic that probably you should be knowing. Further than this is a much more advanced level. For that I would suggest that you can possibly opt for an advanced course, right, for SEO. But I think this is sufficient enough to understand social media marketing for you guys, right? So thank you so much, and thank you so much for staying tuned till the end of the session. Thank you.